Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The single best idea after an extraordinary week. There's the oddest week in umpteen decades of doing this. To have Jobs Day on Wednesday, inflation report on Friday, and Michael McKee saying we don't even have the PPI report yet, business inflation. I mean, folks, this is original territory, to use the cliche. And all we're going to do is try to give you the best conversations that we can. Thank you to the huge response that we got, both pro and con, of our conversation with Peter Navarro of the Trump administration. I note that the FT and Bloomberg's Jenny Leonard had out within 12 hours of our conversation with Dr. Navarro the idea that metal tariffs may come down. We will have to see on that. Today it was on inflation. Jim Caron with us with Morgan Stanley. They're expert on bonds and on blending bonds into your portfolio. Jim Caron, looking at the equity markets.
There's a lot of volatility that's happening, right? We understand what's happening in the equity markets. But then when we look at the publicly traded fixed income markets, as you're pointing out, the risk isn't necessarily being evenly distributed across all markets. And Tom, that's good news, okay? Because whenever we go into these types of market events where there's a big repricing in a certain sector, in this case it's software, the number one question is always about contagion. Is there contagion into other markets? And we're seeing fire breaks between the public markets and the private markets, and certainly equities are taking the brunt of this in some way.
Jim Caron of Morgan Stanley, and of course much more to come, linking in our economics into fixed income. Anurag Rana took a few moments with us from Chicago, where he is expert on the cloud and this tech debacle that we're seeing. Anurag Rana bringing Microsoft and the players over to enterprise. Let's listen.
We think the companies that are core critical systems of records and that sell into large enterprises are a lot less prone to this disruption than somebody that's selling a very low-end software to smaller businesses. The reason we think that is because these systems of record, stuff that's sold by the likes of SAP, Workday, ServiceNow, Salesforce.com, is because those are critical to the running of an organization. And frankly speaking, we don't see these large companies just getting rid of them, just to save a little bit of money.
Anurag Rana, I'm sure that Mr. Rana and Mandeep Singh will be key to our continuing coverage on technology. Look also to Caroline Hyde and Ed Ludlow for their day-to-day grind in technology, Bloomberg technology, across all of our Bloomberg platforms. On podcasts, it's great technology. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, on YouTube podcasts. It's single best idea.